Hello there, my creative collective. Ooh. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Oh my goodness, creative collective. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing there? So, rebranding, refurbishing. What are you doing? I don't know. There's still a lot you're not quite sure of yet. Ooh, I like this with you. Some of you, simplicity of design. So some of y'all could be simplifying things, keeping things more organic, or keeping things a little less cluttered. This does feel like a sort of switch up with you. Creatives, I've kind of been doing that with the background. Is there a certain background y'all prefer? Look at that, changing things up. Some of y'all are definitely meant to bring about a lot of change. Now's the time for you to focus on you. So, what are you doing? What was that? There's a Hierophant energy. There's a Three of Pentacles. Better decisions, better opportunities coming in. Boss ass decisions here. It's okay, creatives. What are you doing? Some of you choosing to self-publish. Self-publish, self-produce. Ten of Swords, there at the Three of Pentacles. Oh, the Judgment vibe, the Ace of Wands. There at the Six of Cups. Going back to the original, there's a Page of Pentacles there. This is good retrograde vibes. It's good in Virgo season too. So a lot of you can get more shit done in Virgo vibe and that hermit energy than what you can when you're living your life out loud. So focus on what's important to you. Some of you are going to choose to simplify things. So some of you could be choosing to go out on your own. If you're in a group dynamic, you could be figuring out a way to maybe do something on the side to bring about, like, it feels like more sort of attention to you. Some of you could get an opportunity. Maybe if you're in a group dynamic, maybe you got to figure out a way for each individual to kind of do their own thing. So that way you kind of get a little bit more of a broader perspective of things, right? Think of your favorite group and how each individual is kind of doing their own things to create that sort of originality here. Some of you, it goes from being a group thing to an individual thing, and then some of y'all like bringing in more. So you could be like adding or subtracting or changing things around. Some of y'all, the group dynamic is meant to change. There could have been a change in the group dynamic, so some of you had to kind of rethink what the hell you were doing. Not really overwhelming, or at least it shouldn't be. The Nine of Swords there with the King of Pentacles, with the Ace of Swords. There at the Three of Wands. Some of you, when it comes to self-publishing or self-producing, or if you're dealing with like a group dynamic. So if you're in a band, right? Maybe you need to find a drummer or a guitarist or a singer or a keyboardist or whatever the fuck. Those of you, if you do like videos, maybe you're sound technician or someone like that. So I feel like the group dynamic is there to change. Things are meant to change. Things are supposed to change. It feels like it could be for the better. So wish everyone well and kind of do your own thing. Because a lot of you, it can eventually come back around to being a good group dynamic. Y'all just sort of get to create your own sort of personalities off of something. This would be a good thing for, actually, for the whole group dynamic. Focusing on, like, individuals. So that way, the individual can bring more into the group dynamic as well. This shouldn't be overly dramatic for a lot of you. Some of you, it may seem that way. Some of you, if it comes to, like, investors, you'll figure out a workaround on something. Or this could be replacing someone who is, like, really important to the mix. Be very mindful. You'll figure this out. This is a good retrograde vibe. Some of y'all, that little bit of what feels like stagnation could actually be really good. Rebranding, refocusing, switching it the fuck up. Never hurts to change things every now and then, right? What else you have for my creative collectives here? This could be the same for art galleries, artists. So maybe you used to be shown in like a group, and now you're going to get the chance to like maybe do your own thing. Some of you, that could be a positive for you. Or one of you has one member of the group that's going out and creating their own sort of vibe. But maybe inspires the others to get out and try to do their own thing like that. I feel like there's a good support energy with this. Or at least there should be a good support system when it comes to this. So keep that in mind. Some of you, there was probably, if there was some sort of negative vibe to this, so you had to switch things up because of a negative energy, don't overwhelm yourself with that, because some of you, the one that left the group dynamic could be the one that's over here in Nine of Swords. Three of Cups, the King of Swords, the Sun. There with the Chariot vibes. That speaks on who is getting the attention and how can that like help the group dynamic. The Chariot vibe there with the Emperor energy. Over top of that is the Eight of Swords to the Knight of Pentacles. Oh. Some of y'all could get the chance, if you're like auditioning or applying for something where there's like a there's like a triptych energy here. You got the Three of Cups. Some of y'all, this could be a group dynamic. So, I don't know, maybe it's like a dance group or an artist colony, an artist sort of collective. Some of you, this could be if you're auditioning for, some of y'all could be auditioning for SNL, right? Some of you, comedians, right? Getting the chance to go up on stage, doing like a group project. Some of you, keep your options open and don't think it all has to be about you. Sometimes a little group dynamic doesn't hurt. Especially if it brings a little bit more diversity and some of y'all, you get more attention that way. Some of y'all could be having some management issues, or the one that sort of wants to control things is kind of keeping things sort of stuck or stagnant. Some of you, I feel like that brings about an interesting opportunity with you. With Archangel Michael right here. So, some of you could be asked to do like a group project or work on a group project. Especially if there's like a hiccup with like the main person. So, oh, you know a song that feels like? Who's gonna fill their shoes? Who's gonna play the Opry? And the Wabash Cannonball. Oh, that's a good old song. Ooh, that's 80s. So, switching up the dynamics on something. Some of you could get the chance to be that Emperor Empress vibe. It's the Eye of the Tiger. That's Rocky 4, right? That feels like Cat on a Hot Tin Roof energy. Cause I got cat class and I got cat style. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? Oh, my chefs, right? Some of you, if you have audition songs, some of y'all need to switch up your audition songs. Switch up your audition songs, especially if you haven't in a while. Audition songs, monologues. If you're a comedian, maybe rethink your set. Artist, you may be trying a new medium or looking at something a little differently. There is this energy of someone's expectations versus your creative vibe as well. So some of you, there may be some sort of concession when it comes to that. So be mindful. If it's a paid job, there might be some parameters with which you have to work within. Don't fuck up a good opportunity over that. Anything else from my creatives? Queen of Swords. Yeah, some of y'all might seriously be thinking about self-producing, self-publishing, self-promoting. Hey, even the famous people have to get on their socials and plug whatever project that they're doing. That's like a normalcy here. So some of you, that could be what you're working on. That could be what you're focusing on. Who's the one that gives good advice? Some of you feel like it's lost direction. Especially if you're dealing with a group dynamic, whether you're the leader of the group or it kind of affects the whole group dynamic with what a lot of you have going on here. Don't let that overwhelm you. Someone's going to have to kind of step up and start making some decisions. Some of you, if you're dealing with an opportunity, there could be some restrictions when it comes to that. So you might have to work within certain parameters. Some of you that aren't used to that, so some of y'all could be doing your solo thing, or some of y'all could be being advised to kind of do your own thing on the side, with regard even to the group dynamic, which that never hurts anything, because if one or more of you is successful outside of the group dynamic, that could bring more attention to the group dynamic as well. So really, no opportunity is too small, because some of y'all, that could lead to like a better opportunity. Those of you, when it comes to whoever the sort of boss vibe is with this, so some of you, that group dynamic, there's usually the one that makes all the decisions. So if there's a sort of negative vibe to this, some of you may be asked to sort of take on that position or look at things from a different perspective. Definitely don't be afraid to go out and kind of do your own thing as well with that group dynamic. Because it kind of works. So you have the group dynamic. So some of you, to kind of create that individualistic part of who you are, kind of doing your own thing. Some of you, that could bring about like better opportunities elsewhere as well. I'm liking the Archangel Michael vibes right there. So this is like audition, turn in your resumes. This is like show your work, whatever your sort of medium is. Artist, have your portfolio ready to go. Musicians, have your music ready to go. Be ready to audition, whatever instrument that you play. Singers, some of you singers need to switch up your music. Your music might not be quite up to snuff, especially if you haven't switched it up in a while. Some of you, your monologues. Some of you remember why you used to do it. With that Ace of Wands there with the Six of Cups, that's kind of going back to the basics. So some of y'all may be taking some classes. Some of y'all may be teaching some classes. Some of y'all maybe take some classes that's not like in what you're really good at. Some of here, comedy classes wouldn't hurt to help you get a little bit more comfortable. Some of y'all could be taking some stage combat classes as well. Some of you, as an artist, you could have an opportunity, but you're going to have to work within the parameters. So this is like the comedians that have like a clean act, and then they have like the regular act that they do. You can't go on network television cussing. So some of you may have to come up with a clean act, and then you have your regular act. Some of you, whatever it is that you're doing, you might have to work within someone else's parameters with your creative talent or gift, but it's who's paying. So it kind of is what it is. You get your creative ability, but it's still got to meet somebody's expectations. But again, that's like the interviewing. That's like whatever you do to kind of get the showcase. Some of you don't shy away from a group dynamic. Some of y'all may find yourself being interested in a group dynamic, just so you kind of get a chance to work off each other, to play off each other. This is good improv. Some of y'all just taking classes. Musicians, this is like getting out there. Maybe you're going to play for somebody else, or you're switching up how you do what you do. If there's a negative vibe to this, because the Nine of Swords there with the King of Pentacles, and then you got the Emperor here with the Eight of Swords with the Knight of Pentacles. Some of y'all, if you're concerned about backing or the money when it comes to something, I feel like you're going to be able to overcome that, but some of you, it isn't as dramatic as selling your soul. You're not really selling out. If you have to take a paid gig and you're playing basic shows, right? the point is you're making money. Some of y'all may be asked to be in that emperor position, so you may be the one that has to consider that. I don't know. Don't limit yourself, and no opportunity is too small, because you never know what the smallest opportunity can bring when it comes to getting a better opportunity. Some of y'all could be asked to fill in for somebody. So definitely make sure that you have something last minute ready to go. So that way you're going to be able to follow through on that. I feel like you're mindful. Some of you need to be. This is like the ebb and flow, right? Nothing ever really stays the same. There's always that ebb and flow, and depending upon what you do, it's always that vibe. So some of you may need to reconnect to kind of figure out what the flow is out there. So some of y'all need to get out there, spend some time. This is like the comedian doing crowd work. So what's out there? Some of y'all might need to use Virgo mode to go through and listen to different types of things to see what is the vibe. Especially if you're doing like any rebranding. Some of you with the group dynamic. You may be encouraging people to kind of do their own thing. So that way as a group, it brings more interest to what it is that you're doing. So maybe some of y'all are going to set up socials for everybody. And people are going to start going off and kind of doing their own thing. The group dynamic could still stay the same. But, you know, it doesn't hurt. Think of the musicians that go off and play for other bands, and they just kind of add more to the fan base. Some of you, this is like a good work opportunity. Whatever you do, artists, you get a show in a different art gallery than what you normally would. Dancers, you get a different style of dance than what you're used to, or you could fill in for another dance troupe if you get the opportunity. Allow them sort of options. Some of y'all, that's the way to kind of keep the money flow going in too. So if it's like a group dynamic, there's a lot of auditioning, interviewing, and showcasing here. So creatives, be ready to do that. Singers, some of y'all need to update your music. Some of y'all need to update your audition pieces. If you're a comedian, maybe rethink your jokes or your set. And this is that energy of comedians have to have a clean set, and then they can do their regular set, right? Musicians, you might be asked to play something that's not exactly what the hell you want to do. But, you know, you live and learn through that. Some of y'all, the audition songs. If you're a singer, you could be singing in a different style, or you need to brush up. What are people listening to? What's the vibe when it comes to that? I like the Archangel Michael vibes. Some of you could get an interesting opportunity. So pay attention to that. Be ready to fill in where you're needed. So this is kind of like understudy energy too. So some of you could be like the second choice or the second option or like the second chair. But then you could get the opportunity. So be prepared for it. Virgo season should be good for you, especially if there's kind of a lull in what it is that you're doing. Which, a lot of you, there's always that sort of lull. Some of you, if the group dynamic changed, don't look at it as being like as negative as what you think it is. Some of you, you're just going to have to rearrange things, and people are going to be taking on different roles. This is adaptability, most definitely. Optimism moving forward. Queen of Swords. So whatever your concerns are, talk it out, work it out with someone who knows. Some of y'all choosing to self-produce or self-publish is really kind of the smarter way to go, right? You can get a contract and it basically keeps you stuck or stagnant. And if you're doing your own thing, that allows more creative sort of vibe when it comes to you too. Some of you could be encouraging the group to kind of do their own thing. So some of you could be wanting people to spend more time on their socials. So it kind of brings more attention to the group dynamic. Some of y'all, you might need that group dynamic just to kind of see what the vibe is out there. So whatever you do to kind of stay in touch with the energy out there. Oh, Anything else for my creative collectives? I feel like the world is your oyster. The world is your teacher. So get out there, do your thing. Some of y'all could be focusing more on your social medias and looking at things from a different perspective. I feel like some of you need that, especially if you're a little stubborn when it comes to moving forward. Scorpio vibes and Archangel Michael energy here. So a Scorpio or Cancer era energy could be important to you right now, or Cancer and Scorpio season. Between all that is the Eight of Cups. Over the Eight of Cups is the Page of Swords to the Nine of Wands. This definitely feels like understudy energy. So, damn. Definitely pay attention to the opportunities that you have. Probably one of the favorite understudy stories is Sutton Foster when she was learning Thoroughly Modern Millie. She joined in the cast, understudy, and then she gets the opportunity to take the role to Broadway, and she wins a Tony off of it. So make sure you're prepared here, whatever your discipline is. This is like when you're learning music. So some of y'all, this is the rhythm. This is like your pace, your timing. Learn your lines. Some of y'all the movement energy. So some of y'all could be taking some dance classes or some stage combat classes, or you could be wanting to do some like improv to sort of loosen up any sort of hard angles you got going on. If you're a comedian, this is learning to do the crowd work as well. Some of y'all learning a better posture. That does feel like good dance energy where you're focusing on like your rib cage. Some of y'all get the chance to sort of diversify yourself within your artistic range here too. So some of you could be taking taps. Some of y'all could be taking some modern classes, maybe a few ballet classes. Brush up on where you maybe haven't spent any time working on. I like the Scorpio and the Archangel Michael vibes with you. So, if you're a comedian, have a set ready to go. A clean set and then your normal set. If you're a musician, have your audition pieces ready. If you're an artist, have your portfolio ready. Some of y'all taking some classes. It doesn't hurt. Some of y'all could get an opportunity. You're not selling your soul. But if the client's paying and there's a certain sort of parameter with which you have to work in, use your creative talents to make that work. Don't let that overwhelm you. Some of you, when it comes to the financing of something, or whoever was like the lead person, so maybe some of y'all, the lead person has an opportunity, so it's just going to be the ones that's not the main person. This could give you a chance to sort of switch it up and change it up. There should be just as much movement energy here, sound energy, and all of that to keep you motivated. So don't get complacent here. Some of y'all spend time where you need to figure out the sort of vibe. So if you do dance music, club music, get out there to the clubs. Some of y'all need to listen to other people perform or watch other people perform. So that way you kind of get an idea of what it is. So you could be just as much an audience as you are the performer. Some of y'all, maybe you need that vibe so you can look at things differently. There's this energy of like stage design, set design, changing up your backgrounds, looking at things differently as well. There's a little bit of jealousy energy here. The Eight of Cups there, the Page of Swords with that Nine of Wands. So some of you, someone could be seeing you as competition. So this is why it's very important that you bring your A game. So some of you with that Emperor energy, the Eight of Swords there at that Knight of Pentacles, some of you could get the opportunity to fill in for somebody. So make sure you know what the fuck it is that you're doing. Some of you may get some obstacles along the way, but I mean, that's sort of life. So whatever your discipline is. My artists taking some classes, teaching some classes, learning some classes, maybe doing something with a group dynamic. So maybe there's a group project you can help out with. My artist, I forget who had the Banksy read. I think it was Capricorn. It's in the title. I don't know. You can overcome it. You just got to make sure that you're focused. So have those auditions ready to go. Have everything ready to go that you need. If there's a negative spin to this, you can make it work. Some of you, the group dynamic is just going to have to step it up more. So some of y'all may be encouraging the group to do more individualistic things. So that way this is like a self-promotion. Some of y'all, that group dynamic actually brings about like a better opportunity. So you know what I mean? So take what's yours, leave what's not. I love this for you creatives. Be ready when the opportunity shows up. Some of y'all singers need to switch your songs up. So I don't know what people are doing in auditions, but switch that shit up. Dancers, maybe brush up on areas in which you haven't danced in a while. Maybe a little bit of ballet to learn that sort of graceful posture. Comedians, some of y'all should be doing stage combat or learning stage combat or learning to move differently. Taking classes, teaching classes, I don't know. Take what's yours, leave what's not. Some of y'all, you never know who's in the crowd. So some of y'all could get an opportunity just out of the blue. So whatever your discipline is. Scorpio vibes and Archangel Michael energy there. I'm really liking that. Some of y'all could get the opportunity to do a revival. So some of y'all could be thinking about that. Or you may ask to be in a revival. Some of y'all, you can get a Tony from that. You can get a good opportunity from that. Some of y'all, this could be going back to the basics. Good luck, God bless, like, share, subscribe, take what's yours, and leave what's not. Be mindful of the contract. So some of y'all could be deciding to self-produce or self-publish. What makes more sense to you? Talk it out, work it out with someone that knows best. Peace, love, and light.